Assalamualaikum, and today we are going to continue where we left off today. The second stage, open preaching. First revelation regarding the preaching, and warn your tribe of near kind. This was the first word to be revealed in this concern. It is included in the Surah chapter 26, the proverb, which relate to the story of Moses from his early days of prophethood, going through his migration with the children of Israel. They escaped from Pharaoh and his folk and the drowning Pharaoh and his army. This chapter infers the different stages of the Moses passed through in his struggle with the Pharaoh. With Pharaoh and the mission of calling his people onto Allah. Moreover, it includes stories that speak about the terrible end in the store for those who belie the messengers, such as the people of Noah, Ad, Thamud, Ibrahim, Lot, and Ahlul Aika, companion of the wood, a group of people who used to worship a tree called Aika. These stories are mentioned along with that of Pharaoh and his people in order to teach those who spread falsehood of the case of those who did the sin before them and their end. It also let them know that awaiting punishment from Allah if they continue spreading falsehood, and it lets the believer know that the good end is for them, not the supporters of evil. Calling the closest kinds people. In obedience to Allah's command, Muhammad SAW called his kinsmen of Bani Hashim with a group of Bani al-Muttalib bin Abd Manaf. The audience counted 45 men. Abu Lahab immediately took the initiative and addressed the Prophet SAW. These are your uncles and cousins. Speak to the point. But first of all, you have to know that your kind people are not in a position to withstand all the errors. You must bear in mind that your relatives are sufficient for you. If you follow their tradition, it will be easier for them than to face the other clans of the Quraysh supported by other Arabs. Verily, I have never heard of anyone who has incurred more harm on his kind people than you. Our Messenger SAW kept silent and said nothing in that meeting. He invited them to another meeting and managed to secure audience. He then stood up and delivered a short speech explaining quite clearly what the special issue was. He said, I celebrate Allah's praise, I seek His help, I believe in Him, I put my trust in Him, I bear witness that there is no God to be worshipped but Allah with no associate. A guy can never lie to his people. I swear by Allah that there is no God but He, that I have been sent as a messenger to you in particular, and to all the people in general. I swear by Allah that you will die just as you sleep. You will be resurrected just as you wake up. You will be called to account for your deed. It is then either hell forever or the garden paradise forever. Abu Talib replied, we love to help you. Accept your advice and believe in your word. These are your kind people whom you have gathered, and I am one of them, but I am the fastest to do what you like. Do what you have been ordered. I shall protect and defend you, but I cannot quit the religion of Abu Muttalib. Abu Lahab then said to Abu Talib, I swear by Allah that this is a bad thing. You must stop him before the others do. Abu Talib, however, answered, I swear by Allah to protect him as long as I am alive. On Mount As-Safa, after the Prophet ﷺ became sure of Abu Talib's commitment to his protection while he called the people onto Allah, he stood up on Mount As-Safa one day and called out loudly, Ya Sahaba. Group of the Quraysh came to him. He came to the Tawheed faith in Allah, his messenger, and the day of resurrection. Al-Bukhari reported part of the story on the authority of Ibn Abbas. He said, when the following verse will revealed, and warn your tribe of near kindred. Allah Messenger Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam ascended Mount As-Safa and started to call all Bani Adi, two clans of Quraysh. Many people gathered, and those who could not send somebody to report them. Abu Lahab was also present. Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, "You see, if I were to tell you that there were some horsemen in the valley planning to raid you, will you believe me?" They said, "Yes, we have only witnessed the truth from you." He said, I am a warner to you before a severe torment." Abu Lahab promptly replied, "Perish you all the day. Have you summoned us for such a thing?" The verse were immediately revealed on that occasion. Perish the two hands of Abi Lahab. Muslim reported another part of this story on the authority of Abu Hurairah. He said, when the following verse were revealed, and warn your tribe near kindred. Allah Messenger Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam called all the people of Quraysh, so them gather, and he gave them a general warning. Then he made a particular reference to a certain tribe and said, "Oh Quraysh, rescue yourself from the fire. Oh people of Bani Kab, rescue yourself from the fire. Oh Fatimah, daughter of Muhammad, rescue yourself from the fire. For I have no power to protect you from Allah in anything except that I would sustain relation with you." And it was verily a loud, suggestive call, stating it unequivocally unequivocally to the closer people that believe in his message constituted the basis element of any future revelation between him and them, and that the blood revelation of on which the whole Arabian life was based had lost its revelation in the light of that divine ultimatum. Shouting to the truth of the polytheist reaction, the prophet's voice kept reverberating in Mecca until the following verse was revealed. Therefore, proclaim openly that which you are commanded, and turn away from al-mushrikun, polytheists. Then Allah Messenger Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam began to proclaim the invitation to Islam at the gathering and assemblies of the idolaters. He would recite from Allah's book to them, saying as the messenger said to their people, "O people, worship Allah but have no God in Him." Then he began worshipping Allah right before their eyes, praying aloud in the courtyard of the Kaaba during the daytime while they watched. He then started disapproving the superstitious practice of idolatry, revealing its worthless reality and utter uselessness, and giving concrete proof that idolatry by itself, or taking it as the media through which an idolater could come in contact with Allah, is manifest falsehood. All of this resulted in increased acceptance of the call. People were entering Allah's religion one after another. This caused enmity to develop between the converts and their relatives, and it all made the Quraysh shudder in disgust over what they saw. An advisory council to hinder pilgrims from Muhammad's call. During those days, the Quraysh had another serious concern. The proclamation of the call had only been a few months old when the season of pilgrimage was soon to come. Quraysh knew that the Arab delegates were coming within the short time. They agreed that it was necessary to think about a device that could push away the Arab pilgrims from the new faith preached by Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. They went to see Al-Walid bin Al-Mughirah to plan something on this issue. Al-Walid invited them to agree on an unanimous resolution that would enjoy the approval of them all. However, they were at disagreement. Some suggested that they should describe him as Kahin, should sayer. But this suggestion was turned down on the ground that his words were not so wise. Others preferred to publicize him as Majnun, possessed by jinn. This was also rejected because no sign peculiar to that state of mind were detectable if they claim so. Why not say he is a pervert? Some say. Here again, they could not reach a common consent, alleging that his works were totally outside the lexicon of poetry. Okay then, let us accuse him of practicing witchcraft, was a fourth suggestion. Here also Al-Wali shows some reluctance, saying that the Prophet ﷺ was known to have never involved himself in the practice of blowing on the nose, and he admitted that his speech was sweet-tasting, rude and bland. He, however, found that the most plausible source to be leveled against Muhammad ﷺ was witchcraft. The ungodly company adopted this opinion and agreed to propagate one uniform formula to the effect that he was a magician, so powerful and commanding in his art that he will successfully separate son from father, man from his brother, wife from her husband, and man from his clan. It is noteworthy in this regard to say that Allah SWT reveals 16 verses as regard of Al-Walid, the cunning method devised to manipulate the people expecting to arrive in Mecca for pilgrimage. Allah said, verily he thought and plotted, so let him be cursed, how he plotted, and once more let him be cursed, how he plotted. Then he thought, then he found, and then he looked in a bad-tempered way. Then he turned back and was proud. Then he said, "This is nothing but magic from the of all. This is nothing but the word of a human being." As for our Messenger SAW, he would go to the people who gathered during the Hajj season, following them to their camp in Ukaz, Majannah, and Dhul Mazaz, inviting them to Allah. Abu Lahab, who would shadow the Prophet, stepped crying out aloud, "Do not listen to him, for he is a liar. He is an apostate." Nevertheless, Muhammad SAW managed to create a stir in the whole area and even to convince a few people to accept his call. Attempts made to sack the onward march of Islam, having probably perceived that Prophet Muhammad SAW could never be prevented from his call, coerced in a desperate attempt to suppress the tidal wave of the call, turned to other ship means acting from this motive, taunting, degrading, ridiculing, belying, and laughter instigating ship manner, and all of which intended toward the new convert in general, and the person of Muhammad SAW in particular, with the aim of dragging the spirit of despair into their moral and slowing their continuous struggle. They put their effort to degrade the Prophet SAW as a man possessed by a jinn or an insane person, and they say, "Oh, you Muhammad SAW, to whom the zikr, the Quran, has been sent down, verily you are a madman or a liar practicing witchcraft." And they, our pagans, wonder that a warner, Prophet Muhammad SAW, has come to them from among themselves. And the disbelievers say, this Prophet Muhammad SAW is a sorcerer, a liar. Their eyes will also look at the good man as if they would eat him up, or stop him, or disturb him from the position of stability or firmness. They use all sorts of terms of abuse, madman or one possessed by an evil spirit, and so on. And verily, those who disbelieve will almost make you sleep with their eye to hatred when they hear the reminder of the Quran. And they say, verily the Muhammad SAW is a madman. Among the early converts, there was a group who had unfortunately no strong clan at their back to support them. These innocent souls were ridiculed and taunted in season, and out of the season, referring to such people, the superior Quraysh number used repeatedly to ask the Prophet SAW with jest and disrespect, "Allah has favored from among us Does not Allah know best those who are grateful? They were as Allah described for us. Verily during the worldly life, those who committed crime used to laugh at those who believe, and whenever they passed by, used to wink one another in mockery. To wink in mockery. And when they returned to their people, they would return jesting, and when they saw them, they said verily, these have indeed gone astray. But they, disbelievers, sinners, had not been sent as washers over them, the believers, distorting Muhammad SAW teaching, creating doubts, circulating false propaganda, forging groundless allegations concerning his doctrines, person and character, and going to action in such a manner in order to screen off any scope of sound considering from the public. With respect to the Quran, they used to allege that it was the table of the ancients which the Muhammad SAW has written down, and they are dictated to him morning and afternoon. The wicked person went on ceaselessly putting in people's ears that the Quran was not a true revelation. This, the Quran, is nothing but a lie that he, Muhammad SAW, has invented, and others have helped him at it, they claim. It's only a human being who teaches him. They also raise another bizarre and superficial objection. Why does the Messenger Muhammad SAW eat food and walk about in the market like ourselves? The Noble Quran has strongly negated their charges and allegation, and has explaining that the statement of the Prophet ﷺ of the revelation of the Lord and their nation and content provide a bold challenge to those who attribute his prophetic expression to some beast origin, at times to the mental fit of a dreaming reformer, at others to the feeling of an obsessed power of the nuclear muttering of an insane man, contrasting the Quran with the mythology of the ancient in order to distract the people's interest from Allah's word. It is narrated that Anad bin Harith went to Hira, where he got conversant with the tradition of the king of Persia and the account of people like Rustam and Isfandiar, and then returned to Mecca. Here he will always shadow the messenger's step in whatever audience the latter held to preach the new faith and to caution the people against Allah's wrath. And another would directly follow the Prophet ﷺ and narrate to the same audience long tale about the people of Persia. He would then always add to his talk a question cunningly inquiring if he did not surpass Muhammad SAW. Ibn Abbas related that another used to possess female singers who wrote all through their bodily psalm and song and teach away from Islam anyone developing the least attachment to the Prophet ﷺ. In this regard, Allah revealed, and of mankind is he who possessed the idle talk, music, singing, etc., to mislead men from the path of Allah.